Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to Peter Watches TV, where I watch all the TV shows. I have watched so many TV shows this weekend, including Sister Wives, which I'm going to talk about today. I started Teacup this weekend on Peacock, and I have to tell you guys, I'm only 2 episodes in, but I am loving Teacup so far. This week, I will be covering the Zodiac documentary, I Am the Zodiac Speaking, that was on Netflix. I watched that this weekend. I also watched the trilogy of the X movies, which are X, Pearl, and Maxine. I'll probably be doing that coverage over here as well. I have a couple true crime shows to cover. I've got so much to cover over here this week, and I'm really excited to talk a lot about TV shows and movies. Oh, I also watched Don't Move on Netflix, so I'll probably be covering that over here at some point as well. But today, I'm going to talk about Sister Wives. So if you like Sister Wives, if you like TV shows, if you like movies, any kind of TV shows, any kind of movies, reality, true crime, the trending series on everything, if you guys like to talk about TV, then you found the right place, because I like to talk about TV. So now, I will tell you, going into Sister Wives and talking about Sister Wives today, I got a little chapstick on because I have lots to say today. Going and talking about Sister Wives, people will often say in the comment sections, they will say, Peter, did you not know that 3 weeks ago? No, I don't keep up with a lot of the online stuff. If I see it, I see it, but I don't keep up and read all the stuff that's going on with all the castmates of Sister Wives today. So what I'm responding to is what was on the show. But I will say, feel free to educate us in the comment section below. A lot of what you guys share are things that I did not know. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know that. So please feel free to share whatever you know that's come out now, and if it's relative to what we're talking about today. So today I want to talk about, which episode is this? Episode 7 of season 19, called Labor of Love, which they probably should have called Love Can Build a Bridge by the Judds. Love can build a bridge if you're Cody Brown. Love should be multiplied, not divided. But anyway, so let's talk about Sister Wives. Okay, why is this season, first of all, so incredibly boring? I am so bored with this season. Okay, now, I want to just say this, because anytime I talk about Christine and David, people say, because we saw their wedding after the last season, right? We saw their 2-part wedding. And now this entire season is the courtship, the very short courtship, okay, of Christine and David, and then picking out the wedding venue leading up to the wedding, which we already watched at the end of last season. And people are like, Peter, that was a special, okay? It was still put out by Sister Wives. They should have saved it till the end of this season. And I have to tell you what I really think, okay, is that I have a feeling that they weren't entirely sure that people would stick around to the end of the season, because this season is, oh my God, it's so boring that they were like, we better show Christine's wedding now, because it's all she talks about this season, and we might not make it to the end of this season, because I don't know that I will make it to the end of the season. I am committed to making it to the end of this season, but I have to tell you, after binge watching 18 seasons and now watching the 19th season, I don't know that Sister Wives, you know how they're saying, like, will Mom Talk survive this? I don't know that Sister Wives is going to survive this, okay? I don't know that Sister Wives is going to survive 4 wives living in, that aren't even there. Only one is a wife. 3 ex-wives that are living in 3 different places. 1 bitter as shit wife that doesn't even want to be with her husband, Cody Brown, anymore. Cody Brown that can't take accountability, and none of the kids want to be on camera or even be part of their lives whatsoever. Or be part of Cody's life whatsoever. So I'm not really sure how this show is going to exist past this season. If I were the producers of the show, this would be the point where I would be talking about some spinoffs, like maybe doing a spinoff of like Janelle and her kids, or Christine and her kids, or something like that, or, talking to Cody and Robyn about doing a spinoff. What's Meri's spinoff going to be? Running the Bed and Breakfast? So, this would be the point where I would be talking about spinoffs, or, a different way of doing the show, because the same model that they've done the show for the last 18 seasons is not working for the season. Because before, I think the last 2 seasons, they didn't have them sitting on the couches and stuff like that. They didn't even do the reunions with them sitting all together. They filmed them all separately. But this formula that they're using, it does not work anymore, because they are all asked the same questions, but they say things that are so completely different. But let's get into, I have my notes. So let's get into this week's episode, season 19, episode 7 of Sister Wives, titled Labor of Love. So it starts off, and it's talking about Meri deciding to move to Utah, and she's giving all of her stuff away, including the furniture that she bought with Cody when she moved into the house to Las Vegas. Do you guys remember that episode when they tried out the couch, and he wanted her to get a specific couch, and she didn't like the couch, but she bought it because Cody wanted it, so that's the couch. So anyway, she's giving it away to her sister and brother-in-law. So her sister and brother-in-law come over, and Cody's going to help them load it up in the truck. And then Cody comes there and he goes, I don't know the rules of divorce, but I helped Christine move out of her house, and now I'm helping Meri move her furniture. I do think it's kind of weird. It's like, there's this back and forth, and like, this is where it's so weird watching it, because some of it was filmed like yesterday, and some of it was filmed 2 years ago, and you don't really ever know when you're watching it, like what was filmed when. And so there's these conversations that are occurring about, you know, Meri and Cody still having conversations and it being awkward, and him helping Christine move and things like that. But that's like, him helping Christine move, that was 2 years ago, you know? Longer than that. I mean, we talk about, I think it was 4 years ago when you talk about Showtime or filming. So then it goes in, and they're all sitting around in the living room of Meri's house. It's like Meri, her sister, her brother-in-law, who apparently are friends with Cody. Cody's friends with Meri's brother-in-law and Cody. And Meri tells her sister that they're officially, well, this is before Cody gets there, that they're officially divorced, and she says after 32 years. Then it goes to Meri, and Meri says that it's really strange to be single after 3 decades. The last time that she was single was 19. And, you know, I think it is one of the things that's more of like what I would like to hear on this show. I don't need Christine shoving David in her face. And, we just love to make out because we're so in love after 2 weeks. I'm so tired of all that making out business, okay? It's like, girl, do you, okay? You obviously are doing each other, but you probably want to show that on camera too. But we trust you, Christine, okay? You don't have to have your throat down the man's throat. You don't have to have your tongue down the man's throat for us to believe that your kids don't even want to see it, okay? Out of respect for your kids, man, we love each other. Girl, enough, okay? But that is kind of a little bit more of what I would like to hear about. I mean, Janelle, Christine, and Meri all married Cody when they were younger. It's like, this is the first time in their life that they're single. They kind of talk about it a little bit, but Meri's really the only one that ever talks about it. You know, Janelle's trying to find her place. Christine's trying to find her man. She has. And so they don't really talk about that this going from plural marriage, this, which started off as this religion that they're none of them part of anymore. Like, they got us to buy into it for 18 years, and now all of it, they're not in plural marriage. Most of them don't believe in plural marriage. I think, you know, Janelle said she would be in plural marriage again, but she wants to marry organically. And it's like, none of them really address, like, okay, you had us watch 18 years of you guys selling us the greatness of plural marriage. Now you're out of plural marriage, and any of you want to talk about that. Like, that's what I want to hear, right? Like, what were the lies and the deceit behind the scenes? So it goes into Meri talking about that, and then she goes in to talk about the church process. Her sister, or I think her brother-in-law, asked her what the church process was like about the spiritual divorce. And she refers to it as a double D divorce because they've been divorced twice, okay? And then she says that it was a good process for her, but probably for Cody it wasn't, because they talked about the abandonment and all this kind of stuff. So she refers to this as a double D divorce because she had a legal divorce and a spiritual divorce. Then she goes on and she talks about the legal divorce was a mind game for her, okay? And this is when she got divorced so that Cody could adopt the kids, okay? He could adopt Robyn's kids. And she says now, in retrospect, she says everybody was so concerned about things changing, and then they did change, right? And that she even says Janelle was concerned about it changing. So Janelle and Meri at that time were very concerned about, but they didn't act like it at the time. This is where the show is such a fraud in retrospect. And like Cody's saying he only wants to share things on camera versus private. They haven't shown us really anything authentically in 18 years. And I'll be honest with you, as somebody that has devoted many, many hours in 18 seasons, I want some fucking truth, okay? I want some fucking truth in this show. You have all wasted 18 seasons of our lives keeping up with you and watching your show, and now you're saying to us, when you were willingly signing off and Robyn was crying and you were getting divorced, that you had concerns about. You didn't express that at the time. You didn't express that at the time at all. You guys all went into this whole thing about how Meri will still be the first wife and that doesn't really mean anything. Now you're saying you never had any power. I mean, the whole thing is so weird. It's like they all of them rewrite the narratives of the histories that we watched. It's like, are you guys not fully aware that all of us watched the show that you guys starred in, that paid your bills for all these years, and now you guys want to come back and be like, it's all a lie? Well, then why did we invest in 18 seasons, now 19 seasons of a lie? If you're gonna do that, then come out and tell some effing truths. And not in a TikTok, and not an Instagram reel. Come out on the show, okay? And tell us some truths. Because I ain't digging for the truth. I don't want to have to go in and read articles and interviews and find TikToks. I want to see it on the show, you know? And then she goes in and she talks about they were all concerned about Robyn coming in and being the legal wife and how that would change things. And she's like, and it did. And that is when it started changing, you know? And then Robyn says that Meri moving is really pain. Girl, I am so tired of Robyn, sobbing Robyn, and how she feels so, like, she's like, it's really hard and painful that, it's sad and painful that Meri is moving. Girl, what? What? You've not thought about Meri in these last couple years. You were thinking about you and your kids, okay? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be thinking about you and your kids as a mother, but that's what you cared about. If you cared about Meri that many years ago, you should have told Cody then that he should have worked shit out with Meri and Janelle and Christine. You should have told him then, okay? When he was kissing you, all right? When he was on the way to the hospital, when you weren't even married, and he was kissing you on the way to the hospital when Truly was born, okay? And on and on and on, and all the deceitful shit that you guys did in the first couple of seasons, you know? I mean, you want to look back on that and be like, well, nobody really accepted me. And then you want to come in and be like, I mean, I don't know. It's just like, having watched all of it, and then they want to try to rewrite history, I'm baffled by it. So then, okay, Meri's talking on the phone about this phone conversation that she had with Cody, and about how this is when she's talking to her sister, and about their different opinions about how the marriage ended, and that what was the defining moment for each of them when the marriage ended, and they disagree about this, right? And I'm like, this is your man. You are divorced twice over now, spiritually and legally. It is weird that he's there helping your brother-in-law move furniture. I think it's nice, okay? But it is weird, and it is awkward. They're talking about how it's going to be so awkward. And where do we go from here, okay? You know, he's your ex-husband. There's no reason for you guys to continue to have phone conversations about, well, what was the why are you having those conversations about what was your defining moment of the marriage ending, okay? And if you're going to have those conversations, that's what you're paid for by TV. Have it on TV. I want to see those conversations. Not the contrived conversations that you guys have. Then it goes in and Cody talks about how it's been dysfunctional since the beginning. And Meri said that there was good. And Janelle's like, that's not true. There was good in the marriage. And Meri's like, yeah, we're not sister wives anymore, so that's why she hasn't talked to Janelle and Christine, right? But she still talks to Robyn. But they're divorced. But she still talks to Robyn. But Robyn is still her sister wife. So her and Robyn friends. I mean, no, it's because you and Janelle and Christine have never gotten along, right? So let's just tell some truths in the show at this point. And then Cody says that the person you marry is not the person... No, her brother-in-law says, the person you marry is not the person you divorce. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty profound. I like that statement. And then they all go in there and talk about how he's changed. Like her sister, her brother-in-law, Meri. They all say he's changed and that Cody's super angry. Robyn, they interview her, and she goes, yeah, he has this face that he does. She calls it his murder face. Do y'all think that's kind of weird that the one remaining wife that has him around her children all the time, refers to his face as his murder face? Like, that's rather concerning to me. I have a feeling that when Robyn gets out in the marriage, and I think she will, I don't wish that on her, I don't wish that on anybody, but if she does, I think all four of those wives will start talking, and I think that's what Cody's afraid of. I don't think Cody is hanging on to Robyn because she's his sister, that she's his... I think the idea of now looking back on loyalty and obedience is that he thinks that Robyn will never say anything about their marriage. And I think the three of them know. I think there's been a lot of secrets about how Cody has behaved in this marriage behind the scenes that he has said, you will never get on TV and you will never say in an interview. And I think they've kept that till now. I think if Robyn got out of the marriage, I think all four of them might start talking about what Cody's really like. And then it goes in, and Cody and Meri say that it's awkward to be around each other, and will it be awkward forever? And I'm like, you guys are divorced, okay? Like, there's not really a reason for you guys to be around each other, except for maybe, stuff to do with Leon and whatever, but other than that, there's no reason for you guys to even be around each other, you know? And I'm like, Cody, you said that you didn't love her, and that you should never have married her, so why wouldn't it be awkward? If I had been in a relationship with somebody and they looked at me and said, I never loved you, I shouldn't have been with you to begin with, I'd have been like, fuck you. I don't ever want to see you again, okay? Period. You want awkward, you're going to get awkward. You should never have said that. I don't ever want to see your face again, okay? You just discounted every day, you know? I say a lot in videos, like when you go through a breakup, you go through this thing, right, where you like question it and you're like, was any of it real? Did any of it matter? And I say to people all the time, like when I've ended relationships, I try, I'm cleaning off my glasses right now. I try to look at the good parts of it because I do think that a lot of the relationship was real. Just because it didn't last forever doesn't mean that there weren't real parts to the relationship. I don't love when people say when a relationship is over, oh, the relationship was a failure. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Maybe you guys didn't work hard enough to make it work, or maybe it just wasn't meant to be in the end. But it doesn't mean that you guys are failures or that the relationship was a failure. But for your ex to look at you and say, or say in a confessional, I never loved you. I should never have married you. I should have got out years before. That basically says that your entire marriage was a fraud, including your child. Like, that is so hurtful. I don't even think Cody has any ability or awareness to realize the things that he says, how hurtful they are. And then it goes on, and we got more David and Christine, which, I mean, he seems like a really nice guy. I'm really happy for her. I just don't care. I mean, in all honesty, I really do not care about David and Christine. And it's the same thing in every episode. She's hanging on him. They're tongue kissing each other. And then it goes in, they're looking at wedding venues now, but they're not engaged. And they've been dating for 6 weeks and to 2 months is what Christine says. And I'm like, and everybody's like, this is too quick, this is too quick. Well, we already know they got married. We already know that because we saw the special, right? They're planning wedding venues at 6 weeks. She told him that she loved him at 2 weeks. Okay, and she's like, I'm older, I'm 50, I don't have time to wait. I understand that kind of attitude about things, and I'm also a believer in insta-love and knowing that you love somebody right away and all that kind of stuff, but you just got out of being in a relationship for 30 years. Like, maybe, like, I don't know, like, for your kids, for you, for your sanity, for your well-being, for the future relationship of you and David, maybe, like, pause a little bit on it. But nope, they're picking out wedding venues. The woman looks at her and she goes, so when did you guys get it? She's like, oh, we're not engaged. But we have to have a wedding venue so that when we do send out like, the second they get engaged, we're going to send out the invitations like that. I'm sure going to have her wedding invitations before she's even engaged. So, it's so weird. Anyway. Then it goes in, and Cody says that he and Robyn are grieving and struggling and mourning the loss of the family. And I'm like, this is, like, I'm so tired of this. And then he says they're on Coyote Pass, okay? That Coyote Pass, I thought they'd have sold that and given Janelle the money. Is that coming up in this season? Probably. He says that he sold her the whole family dream, and he's just not embracing that dream anymore. And then Robyn says that she still is. And I'm like, girl, you still think they're all moving out to Coyote Pass. Robyn, wake up! Wake up, Robyn. She drives me. I cannot stand her. I can't stand her. She drives me up the phone. She's like, she is so delusional. She is so delusional. And then Cody does, like, he comes into Meri's and he does this fake voice that he's done since, like, episode 1. And she says something. He's like, that's actually a great idea. I'm like, I am so tired of Cody. I am so tired of Cody. And, then he says that he says to all of them, Meri and her sister and brother-in-law, that the divorce is really sad, that it's the end of the era. And Meri goes, why is it sad, Cody? And I'm thinking to myself, exactly, you wanted this. You wanted this divorce. And he's like, no. He was like, I said I was willing to work on it. No, what you said was you were no longer in love with her. You never have been in love with her. You shouldn't have married her. But you were willing to work on the relationship. What relationship? Okay, you forced this, Cody. Then her sister says that she looks at Cody and she says, well, you didn't want to be married to her anymore. You're the one. And he does this whole word salad thing that Cody always says that makes no sense whatsoever at all. And then he says that he's guilty of marrying people he wasn't in love with. Okay, what? Okay, then you shouldn't have married him at all. And then Janelle says it's totally a pretense. She's like, he could not have kept up this facade of not loving any of us. I mean, you had all these kids for all these years, right? I understand that love does not make kids, that you can have sex. And he basically, a couple episodes ago, said something about an orgasm. And I'm like, but you're discounting, like, this is part of why the kids don't want relationships with you, Cody, I have to assume, is that when you say, I did not love your mother, they are a product of you loving their mother, okay? And so when you say, I never loved their mother, I shouldn't have married her, what you're saying is, I should just erase your life, because your life didn't mean anything to me either. It's like so hurtful. I don't think he even realizes what he said, or that these women were in relationships that they were working so hard on to keep together for 20 and 30 years because they believed in the spiritual union. For what? And then to find out Cody never really believed in it ever, you know? Then Meri says that his new thing is to say that he never loved any of them, is what his new thing is. And I'm like, yeah, because if he left, okay, and he didn't love them, and like then they left, and he's like, they were the ones that had the power in the situation, so he goes, well, I never loved him anyway, I don't really care, so I'm not hurt by it, right? Unless it was all just for the TV show. Was it all just for the TV show and the paycheck? Maybe that's what it was. Meri then says that she would put everything into it, but he doesn't want to. And I'm like, Meri, girl, seriously, okay? Just be out. And then Cody says that it offends him to think that God would punish them, all of them, to make them stay in these marriages forever. Like, God, I can't imagine having to be married to these women in eternity forever. I can't imagine being married to sobbing Robyn and her crying constantly over a family that didn't exist on Coyote Pass. Then he goes and he references Sonny and Cher from when he was 8 years old, when they got divorced and how devastated he was. They say we're young and we don't know. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I'm like, come on, Cody. So your ideology of love is based on Sonny and Cher from what, 1962 or something like that? So ridiculous. And then he says, we rode the wave and we survived the crash. We survived, but we crashed the ship. That's his analogy for all their marriages. Then it goes back to Christine's wedding plans. And then Cody says his wedding day to Christine was very sad. It was very sad for him. Because he really struggled hard to get the day off work. He had 2 wives already. One of them was pregnant, and a bride that he was only marrying out of some form of obligation. Can you imagine watching this as Christine's kids? That you didn't want to get married to my mom. You did it out of obligation of what? Was he forced to marry Christine? I don't remember him being forced to marry Christine back then. I remember him bringing Christine in and him wanting to marry Christine, and Christine wanted to be the 3rd wife. We've heard the story a million times. I don't remember him feeling like he was marrying her out of obligation. Now he's saying that because it makes his story look good, right? And then he says, and that probably wasn't fair to Christine. And I'm like, no shit, it wasn't fair to any of these women to have married him all these years and keep them going and stringing them along for all this. And then it goes back into David and Christine. The kids are talking about how it makes them uncomfortable when she kisses David. Tongue me, David, tongue me. And then Cody says that Meri and Janelle didn't get what they want. Oh, no, Robyn says, she's explaining her wedding to Cody. And she says that Meri and Janelle, no, Cody says, I don't know who said it. It says he said, so that must be Cody. That Meri and Janelle didn't get what they wanted. So Robyn says her wedding wasn't about her. It was about celebrating the family. Girl, you talking about the wedding dress? And you kissing Cody when Truly was being born? No, you were treated 100% different, Robyn, from the get-go, okay? From the get-go. Right back to all that scene when all the kids are sitting around. Y'all like Robyn? Well, Robyn likes us. Okay, girl, that whole thing, don't be trying to rewrite history. I watched it 3 months ago, okay? I watched it happen. And then Cody says I've been wearing my pain on my sleeve for 2 to 3 years, and maybe it's time to lighten up. When you're in dark times, that's what you do. You lighten up. He's gone through the destruction of his family. He goes, who cares? That's happened. And I moved through all this. I will survive. Now I can't remember the words. At first I was afraid of sobbing Robyn. I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you. Crying on the bathroom floor on Christmas Eve by my side. But then I got rid of 3 wives, and now it's just you and me on Coyote Pass. I will survive. I will survive, but will the show? Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.